The land of Numbra is a place of its own. A land where the sun never rises. A land of eternal night. For hundreds of years, we have been ignored by the rest of the world, left to slumber alone in the shadows. Our homeland is harsh and unforgiving. Only the strongest survive, while the weak get crushed. Even so, that didn't stop the Kamloops, a small and pitiful nation, from migrating here. Weary of the everlasting wars waged by their neighboring nations, the Kamloops left everything behind. Everything but a foolish hope for better days. On their quest for peace and tranquility, they sought shelter in perilous Numbra. There they would find haven in the perpetual darkness that shrouded their new home. Or so they thought. For a new threat now loomed. One that could not only engulf the Kamloops, but also plunge all of Numbra into oblivion. What do we have here? Who is this young fellow? Let's watch from afar. It's as if the fireflies are trying to lead him somewhere. I wonder where. Oh, this child seems troublesome. I would sooner be away from him. Something vile has happened here. I've never seen such crystals in Numbra. Run, run, run! What is that thing? It seems to react to the boy's presence. Wait, what's happening? And here I thought I was rid of him. I wouldn't go down there. Never mind. I knew this fool would drag me into this. I never imagined that, in my ripe old age, I would leave my exile to become once again involved in the affairs of Numbra. I, Strix, the last night owl, saving a foolish child? Ha! The boy claimed to have no recollection of his past, or how he got here. He couldn't even remember his name. I had no choice but to take him to the nearest village, hoping that would be the end of it. Let's get going. These old bones can't carry you all the way. How odd. The village looks deserted. I remember this place being occupied by the Kamloops. Are my eyes deceiving me? Or is this poor fellow trapped inside that crystal? There's not much we can do for him now. Since you seem to have lost your tongue, I might as well give you a history lesson. The Kamloops worship 5 divinities called celestial gods. Obviously, they didn't seem to be much of use here. Over here. This is Viperas, Dame Nature. She is one of the 5 divinities I was telling you about. Too kind and gentle for my taste. Looks like you're trapped on the other side. Ah! You reckless fool! Another villager. Free him. He vanished. This is Orlog, the Timeless One, although I fear he has grown senile over the years. This is Shin, the wrath of the elements, always parading around with his twin blades. Much ado about nothing. My own talons are much sharper. Oh. My, look at this. Apparently, some people weren't fond of Nox, the shadow trickster. Can't blame them. I've heard countless stories of his annoying antics. This is Luxana. What are you doing? This box of yours seems to have a special connection with Luxana. I fear the worst for our land. Seeking out Luxana is probably our best course of action. Surely she knows what's going on. What had become of the once quiet and sleepy Numbra? The entire landscape was littered with ominous crystals, and a whole village had gone missing. As we headed to the Lost Lagoon, I couldn't help but wonder, did I imagine it? Or did the boy truly seem to recognize Luxana's statue? Maybe finding her would be the key to unlocking both his past and the truth about what was happening to Numbra. The lagoon lies just ahead, sitting atop the highest summit in Numbra. The only place in the entire land where the light can pierce the darkness. Quite the sight, isn't it? Well, the fish market is also deserted. Better get on that boat and start searching for Luxana. Why are you so hell-bent on breaking things? I'm off to scout the area for a while. Please try not to do anything stupid. This is why I've given up on people a long time ago. You can't count on anyone but yourself. This is the entrance to Animus's lair. If he's in there, we might finally get some answers on what's happening around here. Hey, what's going on? Everyone is trapped inside these cells. Hurry, boy! Free Animus before he destroys the entire lair. When the villagers came to him cheering, a part of his memories returned. "Nox," they chanted. Imagine my surprise when I realized this fool was none other than one of the 5 celestial gods. My deepest fear was confirmed by Viperas, the goddess of nature. The crystals were indeed the source of the evil vibe I felt all over Numbra. When they started to appear across the land, the Kamloops desperately summoned the 5 celestial gods. Amidst the chaos, Nox's altar was severely damaged. That was why he found himself lost in the wilderness without a hint of who he was or where he came from. From the beginning, Viperas had used the fireflies to guide us here. Thinking back, they did lead us to Nox's artifact, the Shadow Core, and ultimately to Animus's lair. Unfortunately, 3 divinities were still missing: Shin, Orlog, and Luxana. While Viperas took care of things here, it was our duty to search for them. Our next stop, the marshlands of sorrow. The stench of this place would put a rotting carcass to shame. Whew. Stay on your guard, boy. The marshlands of sorrows are home to many foul creatures. Behold, the Sentinel of Hope. Originally built to lead the Kamloops across the deepest part of the swamp, it still stands today as a testament to their ingenuity. You know what worries me most? It seems like no place was left untouched by these accursed crystals. Such disgusting creatures. Ugh. You truly remind me of my former pupil at times. I hope you two don't end up sharing the same fate. I hope you have another trick up your sleeve. Look! The gate is open. Luxana and the other divinities must be nearby. Following this new lead, the boy and I ventured into a secluded part of the bog. He wanted answers as to what was happening to our homeland. And, most importantly, he was determined to find his friends. As for myself, I was more worried about what could be lurking in these parts of Numbra. Let's get moving. I've had enough of this blasted swamp. Devourers? I'm surprised any of them survived after the Black Swarm's demise. I'd destroy their nests myself if I weren't so old. Like in the good old days. Look at the horizon. There are people marching by. Follow me. I know a secret passage that... Ooh, where is all that slime coming from? You know what? I'll wait for you on the other side. took you long enough. While you were taking a nap in there, I heard a huge explosion ahead. We should be careful. These are the soldiers we saw earlier. It looks like a huge battle just took place. This bodes ill for your comrades. There is only one place in this barren wasteland where the enemy could have taken the Celestial Guards. There are ruins not far from here, the Temple of Mictlan. However, nothing good has ever been known to come out of that place. Only fools like us would dare trespass into the Temple of Mictlan. This cursed temple was a remnant of the past. The rumors said that the black veil over Numbra was originally cast from this location 1,000 years ago. The god Mictlan consumed everything to create the eternal night, legend said. We were bound to find out if they held any truth. Supposedly, these statues were built to honor Mictlan's most devoted followers. What an unsettling sight. This entire temple is a death trap. I know I'm asking for a lot, but try to keep your recklessness in check. The path splits in two. I'll trust your gut on this one, boy. Still no trace of the other divinities. What could possibly have happened to them? Knows what awaits us inside these cursed ruins. Oh, I'm much too old for this insanity. Although every inch of me wants to get out of here, turning back is no longer an option at this point. Shin and Orlog. Let's get them out and leave this place at once. Once again, the boy prevailed against all odds. As they said, Nox the Shadow Trickster had a trick for every star in the sky. At last, the dreadful Mictlan was put to rest. We learned quite a lot about the recent events, thanks to Shin and Orlog. The signs pointed to a full-scale invasion. The pair had eventually been captured as their sacred artifacts were lost in the wild. Back when the Kamloops left their homeland for Numbra, only one nation possessed such technology. Eternium, the strongest of all nations. Freed at last, Shin and Orlog wanted to find out why Eternium chased the Kamloops all the way into Numbra's darkness. Unfortunately, there was still no trace of Luxana. I could see that the news saddened the boy. She was his closest friend, after all. But now was not the time to sulk. The boy and I were to deliver a warning to Sylveon, the Kamloops capital. It was also possible that Luxana had escaped the invaders and was there as well. After so many years, the prospect of visiting the exotic Viperas Forest again felt strange. I hadn't been there since the Order of the Night Owls disbanded. The Ghostfields. Memories that will forever haunt me. The Night Owls' last stand. For centuries, the Night Owls had watched over the land. I would have proudly given my life to protect our land, but my former pupil was only a baby when I found her. Another orphan of war. I took her under my wing and taught her everything I knew. Her name was Racoria. She became a fearsome fighter. No one could match her skills. Racoria always prided herself on the fact that her traps could be disarmed by no one else. She designed each and every one lying around here. Despite her feats, she wasn't much liked within the Order. She was perceived as an outsider. She was never one of us. On that day, the day of the last stand, she saved Numbra, but doomed us all at the same time. Eager to finally prove her worth, Racoria elaborated a plan of her own. She leaked our meeting point to the enemy and left her post during the night. With most of the swarm coming our way, Racoria intended to infiltrate the Black Queen's lair to take her down and finally put an end to this bloodshed. We were caught completely off guard. I can still hear the loud buzzing coming from the east. It was a massacre. My comrades fell one after the other. So outnumbered were we by the swarm. When I had lost all hope, an agonizing screech pierced the sky. A scream carried on the Black Queen's last breath. Racoria had sneaked up on her and delivered a fatal blow while her army was busy slaughtering us. When the Queen perished, the swarm turned into mindless beasts. The vile insects immediately fled back to their lair. I knew Racoria had something to do with this, so I followed them to see for myself. When I arrived, the swarm, in its frenzied state, had destroyed itself. And Racoria, well, she had paid the price with her life. I carried her back to the Order. I couldn't leave her in a place like that. When I came back, I was greeted with scorn and disdain. The Order branded Racoria a traitor and an enemy. How could Racoria decide to throw away so many lives by revealing our location to the enemy, they asked. I had no answer. I was overwhelmed by grief and shame. I exiled myself to a life of solitude. Rumors were that the Order, or what was left of it, disbanded not long after that. I haven't heard from any member of the Order since that day. I am the last Night Owl, a title that will mock me until my death. And so, here I am, old and feeble, stuck with you on this dangerous adventure. I knew our journey to Sylveon would be a perilous undertaking, as if the countless dangers of the Viperas Forest weren't trouble enough. We also had to face Racoria's old traps hidden in the wild. It might have been my destiny all along to come back here and face her one last time. Careful! Racoria's creations are hidden everywhere around us. She was as stubborn as she was clever, that one. You remind me of her in many ways. When I first met you, I thought you were nothing more than a mindless fool. But somehow, you always managed to pull through. I may never forgive myself for what happened to Racoria. But know one thing, boy. I will not let you down. I can't believe this. Racoria. They built a shrine in your honor. I can finally be at peace now that her legacy is saved. After so many years, I felt as if a huge weight had been taken off my shoulders, knowing that my owl brothers, in the end, had understood that Racoria had made all those sacrifices to protect Numbra put my mind at rest. The mistakes of my past would no longer plague me. Thankfully, the boy and I were unharmed by Racoria's forgotten traps. The road to Sylveon was still long and treacherous, but at long last we saw the light at the end of the tunnel. The Viperas Forest, home of the wild, the untamed, Eternium crystals? This close to Sylveon? This is a bad omen. On a brighter note, Luxana might be in the capital, protecting the Kamloops as we speak. These are Shin's twin blades. How did they even get here? Oh boy, not again. Can we resume our journey now? In case you forgot, we have a job to finish. Look ahead. See these runes? They indicate the way to Sylveon. We should arrive shortly. After a long trip, it was a relief to finally see the Kamloops runes. I could barely keep up with the boy as he dashed through the woods. I knew what was on his mind: the safety of his people and of his dearest friend, Luxana. At long last, Sylveon, the majestic capital of the cat. That was quite a journey, wasn't it? I was almost starting to like you. The treetop capital is protected by a barrier of nets and traps. To reach it, we will need to undergo the 5 trials. Your people have this unpleasant habit of making everything so complicated. This one looks like a riddle. Not your forte, I presume. streets of the capital were suddenly engulfed by a flash of bright light. Silhouettes materialized all around us. An Eternium ambush. My heart sank when I recognized her. Luxana appeared before us, leading the enemy. Glancing at the boy, I realized that he was equally shocked by this turn of events. She accused us of being unable to see the light in her actions, and said that the Kamloops' fate was now taken care of. And since we refused to surrender to Eternium, she would have no choice but to deal with us herself. Luxana unleashed a powerful nova. I instinctively lunged forward and wrapped my wings around the boy. I refused to let another pupil down. A fitting end for the last night owl. It was the other celestial gods who saved us from being reduced to cinders. But in my case, the damage was already done. Up against 4 divinities, Luxana was forced to retreat. She claimed that she had delayed us long enough and vanished. Incapacitated by her powerful attack, Firas, Shin, and Orlog were in no condition to keep going. From their investigation, only one place could host Eternium's base. It was up to Nox, and him alone, to free the Kamloops and face Luxana. And to do it, he would have to venture into the unknown depths, a place whence none ever returned. I couldn't leave a fool like you on his own, so I asked Lady Firas to link our minds using her fireflies. I might still be able to assist you somehow. This is the Giant's Mouth. No one truly knows how deep it goes because, well, I humbly suggest that you stay away from the walls. The darkness grows thicker with every step you take, but nothing to slow down the shadow trickster, eh? Eternium sure wanted their headquarters to remain secret. You seem to have reached the bottom in one piece. There's still hope for your people, but you need to press on. The boy wandered through the endless corridors for what seemed like hours. Alone in the darkness, most people would have lost their minds. But it didn't faze him one bit. Then, to my great surprise, the cavern came alive. The cold rock quickly gave way to a lush flora. Even after so many years, Numbra never ceased to amaze me. It's hard to believe that this lush oasis had existed for who knows how many years. We are discovering a secret world right under Numbra. It seems that Eternium has its dirty hands all over the... No respect for... Hold on. Those draining pipes. Everywhere in the Temple of Mictlan. Eternium replicate his ability? Prevent you from using your shadow core. Troublesome. draining energy. What is Eternium up to? Following enemy base? Boy, hear me? The closer the boy got to Eternium's fortress, deep underground, the weaker the link uniting us became. I could still see through his eyes, but my words seemed unable to reach him. The situation looked grim for the Kamloops, but if there was one person who could save them, it was Nox. After everything Nox had endured to reunite with his friend, their reunion was bittersweet. Luxana had been deceived all along, and now that she had played her part, Eternium was set on doing away with her. Their plan had been set in motion years ago. They wanted to find a way to recreate the divine artifacts and turn them into weapons for their own benefit. To do so required one of the divinities on their side, and Luxana was their best chance. Since the Kamloops' arrival in Numbra, Luxana had been left out, shunned even. The people blamed her for not being able to bring light to their new homeland. A goddess of light, powerless in a land shrouded in darkness? A spy living among the Kamloops approached her with an offer. Eternium could bring light to Numbra if she agreed to do as she was asked. Desperate to win back the trust of her people, she accepted and was led to believe that her actions would help the Kamloops prosper. Laudable intentions that led to a disastrous end. Before she collapsed, she urged Nox to pursue Eternium's leader through the portal. He was on his way to the Celestial Palace to get rid of the divinity's spiritual bodies. The boy jumped straight into the portal, and from that point on, I could feel a cold and terrible darkness enveloping him.
At last we meet the insignificant child and his magical toy box. Artificial weapons stronger than your divine artifact. Your reign has come to an end. How is this possible? My power is fading.
Worried about Nox and the Kamloops, the divinities and I rushed to Numbra's core, deep into the abyss of the unknown depths. Luxana and Nox were both alive and well. But the same couldn't be said for the Kamloops. While we were carrying their lifeless forms back to the surface, Luxana suddenly stepped forward. Without a word, she shattered her inner light, abandoning what made her a goddess. 1,000 stars danced down from the sky, finding a new home in the hearts of the deceased. As the Kamloops rose from the shadow of death, she fell to her knees, her light entirely consumed. I will never forget. A day to be remembered forever. A day that would become known as Lightfall. To thank me for my role in these events, the Kamloops invited me to live among them in Sylveon. Although I politely declined their generous offer, I promised I would visit the boy from time to time. This quest made me realize that Numbra may still be in need of silent protectors. Who knows what other tragedy could befall our homeland? We couldn't always rely on a playful child. As such, I decided to rebuild the Order. And this time around, anyone willing to put their life on the line to protect Numbra would be welcomed with open arms. If new enemies arise, we will show them that we have more than a few tricks up our sleeves. After all, I learned from the best.